Hey guys, welcome to the Shmeet Singh podcast. And my name is Shmeet Singh. I'm the host today as usual. Today we have someone all the way from Austria, Misha Sokolov, who is a founder at Klarr, a mental health startup. Welcome Misha, and thank you so much for your time today. I know it's probably very late there as well, so.
Yeah, it's 9 in the evening, but I'm super glad to see you here, and thanks a lot for inviting me. That's my first podcast, so
Yeah.
please be kind with me. That's my first experience, and hope the best one. And yeah, I'm super excited to
Yeah, no,
start.
I actually found you from TikTok, just for the listeners who don't know. So, and you had this thing where you did like a daily vlog, day one, day two, and that's kind of what I found interesting. And then I thought like, okay, you work in a startup as well. So, I feel like you're gonna do well. You speak well, so yeah, let's get started. So, just to give the listeners a bit of your background, like who you are, and what gets you out of bed every morning.
Okay, so who am I? Wonderful question. I guess that's why I'm paying my psychotherapist every week lots of
Yeah.
money to find an answer. But in a nutshell, I'm Ukrainian entrepreneur who lives in Austria and who launches here mental health startup. So basically, that what you need to know about me so far. And of
Yeah.
course, you may ask me any kind of questions.
Yeah.
But if you want to start with deep talks and like waking up in the morning and the reason for that, I may tell you like a short story.
Yeah.
So the thing is that I guess half a year ago, for me, it was like such a big problem to wake up in the morning and have a valid reason to live these days through. Because, I wouldn't say I was in a depression because it was like quite a short period of time comparing to people who, have these diagnoses
Who's
and
clinically depressed.
who are
Yeah.
clinically depressed. But I guess like for a couple of months, it was like this. I was waking up every morning and the life was just like passing by. I was doing nothing. All this like binge eating, binge drinking, and other kind of stuff. And like I felt so helpless. I couldn't help myself. I tried to find a psychotherapist in Vienna. However, it felt like almost impossible. Either they cost like more than 100 euros per hour. That's quite an expensive for a student, right?
Yeah.
Or they have a waiting list of a couple of months. So I couldn't help myself. I couldn't find the right person to give me this passion to live. I wasn't thinking about the suicide. I'm the lucky one, but still, everything seemed to be great.
Yeah.
However, then I received a call from actually a very random dude, and he simply asked me about Klarr and the project itself. And that time I was like solo entrepreneur. Like I told my friends about it, and then they like started sharing like my ideas with their friends and their friends with their friends and all this stuff. And he just thought that it's nice and gave me a call. And that was actually a wake-up call. So since the time, that's, I guess, one of
So
the first thoughts in my head when I wake up in the morning, that I need to do something that other people, that they get rid of all the problems.
yeah.
And I
So
feel that I'm
Klarr,
able to
so
do it.
Klarr kind of like helped you finding that like reason to wake up in the morning every day. And I
Yeah.
think that's similar to like a lot of founders who probably don't have that problem before as well, but just like, like once they find like something, a problem that they're passionate about, they want to solve, especially if it's a personal problem as well that they face, like in your case, then they really like go all out. And so what made you move to Austria? You said you're Ukrainian and you moved to Austria.
Yeah, I guess like 5 or 6 years ago, a
Okay.
close friend of mine moved here to study, and I visited them for a Christmas holiday. And it was like so nice here, like I truly
Yeah.
fell in love with the city. I felt so comfortable. Then I put all my efforts, I returned back home. It was 24 hours bus ride. It was so terrible. I got food poisoned because, I don't know, some Serbian guys shared some sandwiches with me, and yeah, my body couldn't stand it, unfortunately. Even though like sandwiches were tasty and guys were
Yeah.
like really nice. I felt so bad, and like the first words that I told my parents were, I want to live in Austria and I will do everything to reach this goal. So I started studying as much as possible,
Yeah.
and I started working for like some management consultancies to earn money and come here. And yeah, so I would say that's like my second home now. I
Yeah.
feel very homish in Ukraine, but I don't know, also very comfortable here.
Yeah. And you think like after graduating you're gonna be there? Or that probably depends on where your business is working, right?
Yeah, I guess it mostly depends on the business because we
Yeah.
also want to scale to Germany and to Switzerland and maybe to France.
Yeah.
So we'll just see. Like I don't care actually where to live unless I have like the
Yeah.
purpose for it.
I guess that like makes sense to transition and ask you, so what exactly is Klarr? And if it's like your first business, and you kind of gave us an idea of like how you got the problem, but if you can just go in deeper into like what exactly the problem you're solving, and yeah.
Klarr is not my first business, but it's the one who is the most developed so far.
For sure.
I guess like I was also kind of entrepreneurial, or at least I was like trying to identify the problem and to solve it. And it happens like every time in our lives. For example, you're not satisfied with how your pen works or how your, I don't know, like mobile phone works or like particular app, and you think like, okay, I wish this pen worked in a different way. And I was like, okay, so why not to start doing something? At least the research, or ask family and friends whether they also have this problem or not. But usually, you test fast and you kill fast
Yeah.
ideas that are not viable at all. And Klarr was the first idea who passed all these stages. And basically, so the problem is that it's difficult to find a psychotherapist in Austria and receive a high quality help. That's why we decided to build online platform with an outstanding AI-based matching algorithm. So a person who enters this platform may find a therapist who fits their particular needs in a matter of like 7 clicks and schedule a session next day. That has never been
The next day.
next day, as soon as next day.
So do you
And
already have these psychotherapists in the platform, or like how does that work?
we started contacting them and
Okay.
negotiating. So now we're on a stage of actually signing all these like letters of intent and finding like the proper way how to balance needs and wants of therapists and needs and wants of our clients.
Yeah.
Because, like as far as we're the middleman, tech-based, but still,
Yeah.
we need to consider both parts
Yeah.
of this marketplace.
So how you guys like the next day? That's pretty quick. So I guess I'm guessing you'll need to have like an abundance of psychotherapists, right? Then
Yeah.
because
Yeah,
if
the more we have, the better it works.
because then the faster they can organize it. What side of the marketplace are you struggling to find more like right now? Are you struggling to find more people, more clients, or like are you struggling to find more psychotherapists to join the platform?
I would say more psychotherapist, to be honest.
Okay.
Because so I truly believe that mental health should be as accessible as possible
Yeah.
for people. Like it shouldn't cost a lot. It shouldn't be, I don't know, like it should be covered by insurance companies or, for example, by different organizations. So we try to keep our prices as low as possible, and we also take like quite a small commission on our services too. However, of course, we understand that psychotherapists, they want to earn money, and we want to make this business be their main income source.
Yeah.
Because in the future we want to provide them like with education, with all the classes, courses, and supervision, and so it's like the best community they ever been.
Yeah.
And
Usually,
of course, yeah, they want to earn as much as possible and work as less as possible, and we need to find the balance, and that's like the most complicated thing ever.
that's interesting because I was gonna say that like that's kind of like a good thing in the long term, right? Because like there's always like supply and demand. So right now you have like the problem is know with the demand. So like clients want this, clients want the psychotherapist, but it's just about convincing like the supply side, the psychotherapist about like joining it. And usually I think in marketplaces, it's easier to convince the side which is going to earn money. So, like for psychotherapists, like if they know there's so many people that want this service, then it's easy to convince them like, hey, look, there's 100 people that are willing to pay you and stuff. So like, it's kind of easier to convince them to like join the platform because you're just showing them like, hey, look, so many customers want this and they're looking for people like you. So if you guys own this, you can start earning more money. So, and am I right to think that? Like, do you think that's like...
From one side, you're completely right, but you also need to understand that psychotherapists are extremely smart. That's like one of the smartest people you ever meet, and they're like very educated, and basically that's like the elite of the country.
Yeah.
And it's super tough to negotiate with them because they truly understand how valuable they are, and they truly understand that they are helping people to go through all kinds of problems. That's why they understand that, for example, that they may charge any price they want and they would still have clients. So our goal is to negotiate it in a way they work with us and they help us helping people.
That is true, but like in any case, they are like earning more clients though, right? It's kind of could be an added income for them. I don't know if they're allowed to do that, but like...
Yeah, but they may charge any price they want to.
Yeah, and you want to limit that as well because you want it to be more accessible, right?
Yeah, and we want to have one price for all kinds of doctors on a platform.
Okay. Just to take a step back, so you came to Austria, you said you studied hard and, you convinced your family and you moved to Austria, stuff from Ukraine. And now you started a business. So I mean, you're still in college, right? You're still studying.
I'm. That's my second bachelor program.
Okay.
And basically last semester, I just need to write a thesis actually about Klarr.
Okay.
So
nice.
It won't be like that complicated.
Yeah. So that's actually really good. So like, does business run in your family? Have your parents started business now? Like, what do they think about you now? Like starting a business, like you moved to Austria to study and now it's like, oh, he started his own business anyway. So what does your family think about this actually?
That's, to be honest, a bit painful topic. From one side, they are like the most supportive people ever.
Yeah.
They support any kind of crap that I want to do.
Yeah.
But from another side, so my father, he's a top manager of one of the agricultural companies, and my mom, she's an English teacher. And the thing is that they are not entrepreneurial at all.
Yeah.
And they truly believe that the best and way to live this life is to find a decent job and have this working routine, like 9 till 6 and all this stuff. And basically, I'm like the first person in the entire family who says like, I want to be my own boss.
Yeah.
Not because like I want to be like super independent, but because I want to solve issues other people are not capable of solving. Like
Wonderful.
I'm like super. Recently, I quit my job, and I was like so glad to do it because of the reason, because I felt that I may do more than I'm doing there. It was like such a great feeling.
Was this the management consulting job or was this something else?
It was startup consultancy. So we were actually helping startups to get funded, doing all these like pitch decks and financial models and stuff. And I just realized that I don't want to help, companies anymore. I want my company to help people, that I want to scale my capabilities, and that I know that like in Klarr, I'm solving like way bigger problems that like at this company. So why am I wasting like my entire time?
So you were working while studying in college as well? Is that what you were doing? Like you was working part-time?
Yeah, I mean, I started working since I was 15.
Okay.
Like first 3 years, to be honest, everything was like quite illegal because like no one wanted to legally hire a teenager. And I tried like all kinds of jobs. Like I was like partly bored, partly curious. So I just was trying everything that was on the market.
No, that's true what you said. You're solving a big problem. I think it's hopefully it scales well. So what's the current state of the business right now? Are you, I think you just launched your website. Are you like in the process of validating it? Are you onboarding
Yeah.
clients? Like what's the current status of your business?
So currently we're checking all this product market fit, and I believe that's like the most important thing, because from one side it was quite difficult, to build a website,
Yeah.
but from another side, now we really talk to psychotherapists. Now we really try to identify the needs and to make the best deal for them and for the clients. And once this stage is done, receive money from investors. It's not that complicated because we show traction from both sides, and we're good, right?
Yeah. So how exactly are
So
you validating that?
we're basically contacting them,
Okay.
like sending them emails.
So is
Now,
this
yeah.
contacting the psychotherapist or the like your clients?
Contacting psychotherapist.
Okay.
That's our first and main step,
Okay.
because I believe that there are quite enough. Actually, the problem is that 70%, 75% of Austrians who need psychotherapy cannot just get it. That's the problem. So the
So
market
you
is
know that,
huge.
okay. So that
Yeah,
validation is
they
already there.
yeah
So
they recently did a study.
take me through like deeper into like how exactly you contact, because you said these psychotherapists are like the peak, the smartest people. So like, how are you reaching out to them? Like through what medium are you? Where are you? Is there like a database where you can find their contact information? Like how are you doing that stuff?
Yeah, basically there are lots of databases where they leave the emails and all the stuff, and you have
Yeah.
free access. So I, on my behalf, just texting them and asking what they like, okay with discussing this business opportunity, and clearly stating it. And also, of course, we do A/B testing of
Yeah.
everything,
Okay.
basically. So of the price range, of I don't
The
know, like
messages as
working
well.
hours,
Yeah.
yeah, messages, because like we had experience with talking like to psychotherapists, because
Yeah.
I have one, some of my friends have, but not in like business perspective,
Yeah. So take us, for those who don't know exactly, like take us through like what exactly is A/B testing and how are you A/B testing? Like if you can give us an example of that.
Yeah, okay. So you just everything that you do, think of an alternative solution to this problem,
Yeah.
and try both options simultaneously. For example, when you're sending an email and you're not sure which price to put, send two emails and put like two different prices, right? Like for two different groups of
Yeah.
people, and then compare results. Then you may pick, for example, the best price and do the second A/B test, and for example, play with whether it's like a plain text email or add some pictures and
Yeah.
some infographics and other stuff. So basically, you try to develop MVP, right? And MVP may be anything, right?
Yeah.
Your logo is kind of, right? It's
Yeah.
also maybe an MVP, or your email or something. And then you basically test. And it's way easier when you do A/B test than ABC. It's just like kind of the common practice,
Okay.
that the rule of thumb. The same is like with colors for our website and all this stuff. You give people two options, and then they have no other choice to pick one.
And so your website right now, is that like a web application or is that more like a landing page right now?
I would say it's something in between. It's for
Okay.
sure like we have landing page and all this stuff, but every day we proceed developing it to make it like more like a web application. So
Okay.
we add more and more pages, more and more content and stuff. So we're testing and adding.
Okay. And all this stuff, are you the sole like main founder of the company, or do you have other employees as well that are working with you right now?
To be honest, I hate the word employee. Like, I don't know why, but in my opinion, employee is the person who comes to work every day at 9 o'clock. This person may hate this work, this person may love this work, but I guess the truth is that most of the employees, they don't give a shit about the company at all.
Yeah.
They if something goes wrong, they just like leave the company for a better opportunity, right? And However, I love words like partners and team and friends. And even though I met most of my team 2 or 3 months ago, I truly may say that they are my friends because like we spend lots of time together, like talking, working together, discussing, or I don't know, like having all these like
Yeah.
weekly calls and stuff. And we are really united by one goal to help people and to, yeah, basically to help people. So I wouldn't say that they are employees. They are rather, I would say, stakeholders.
And
But there are
you,
8 of us now. Yeah.
8 of you guys. Wow. And most of these people, how do they come in contact? Like, is it the same way, word of mouth, and they just call you that they want to, like, help you, or are you reaching out to people now?
No. I have this strategy. I don't know whether anyone else uses it, but I recently discovered it, and it works like 100%. So just imagine there are like 2 of you in a team. That's
Yeah.
all, and you're facing any kind of problem. For example, you need a website developer.
Yeah.
So you simply start asking, like, first your partner, do you know any website developers? He
Yeah.
said no. Then you go to your family. Then you go to your friends, and you simply ask for this connection, whether anyone knows.
Yeah.
And usually they say yes. Then you ask for like a short call with this person, like for a short consultation. And usually people love sharing their knowledge. They always find like 1 hour a week to talk to you, to ask about your results, and that's all. Then you just then your goal is to kind of like convince this person work with you, and that's all. And
Okay.
then you grow and grow your business.
So who's reaching out? I think that's similar to like what Steve Jobs said once. He was like, a lot of people don't ask questions, and once they ask questions, they realize like a lot of people are actually willing to help and
Yeah.
give the time of your thing. So are you? Yeah, is it like the development of the product is that in house as well, or are you planning on outsourcing that?
To be honest, I'm not that big fan of outsourcing.
Yeah.
So we try to keep it in-house, to be
Okay.
honest. However, I would say that I truly believe that either you pay with money or you pay with your time.
Yeah.
It's nothing in between. So either you do it with your time alone, learning some like new skills and tricks and life hacks and other stuff, or you simply pay someone with money and you receive a result.
Yeah.
So we decided to, unfortunately, I would say like to pay with time. It's easier with money, but we decided to pay with time because we need this knowledge for the further company development.
So it's okay. So it's within those 8 people you're working with,
Yeah.
kind of developing. And are you looking into investments or expanding the team soon, or are you still bootstrapped?
Yes. We need lots of money. I guess we need around €500,000 to fully establish the company, to have a nice marketing, to test all the hypotheses, to build a super comfortable platform with a great UX, UI, all this stuff.
Yeah.
And to pay salaries and stuff. So basically $500,000, maybe a bit less, but
But you probably have to start
that's-
paying yourself as well, right? Soon.
yeah, but that's not my goal.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I understand that I will need to pay myself a salary because, like, if you don't pay yourself or your employee salary, it's kind of a red flag for startups. Like,
Yeah.
why then do you need this money? And how are you supposed, like, to have a normal company when you cannot even afford paying one salary, you know?
Yeah. And how is the cost of living in Austria there? Like, do you think you can get by with not as much salary for yourself?
I mean, to be honest, it very depends. Like, once I went to Berlin, and I mean, I met a wonderful girl. You know, I was madly in love with her. She invited me to go together to Berlin, and
When
we
was
went there.
this? Like recently, or?
It was 2 years ago.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
and I spent there all the money that they have for the whole month. And I returned back, and I had like €20 in my pocket. I bought a pack of cigarettes, so I had like €15.40 till the end of the month, and it was like 8th of August or something like that. But I was smart and I bought lots of food before. So sometimes it's relatively cheap to live when you
Yeah.
know like some life hacks. But I would say 700 euros per month is like a bare minimum for
Is
living in
that just
Vienna.
for rental, or does that include food as well?
That's everything.
Okay.
Rent, food, insurance.
Okay.
But it's like bare minimum, yeah.
Okay.
My rent is like for 400 euros per month. Quite a
Okay.
lot, I would say.
Okay. That's pretty good compared to like Seattle where I'm living right now. It's really expensive, but
How much do you pay?
it's like so it depends. I'm not staying near downtown. I'm staying in the university area. So I'm like it's like around like if you want like your own bedroom, like it's an apartment for like three other people. So it's about like $1,000 per month, like 1,000 to one thousand one
$1,000.
hundred 200, yeah, per month.
Correct.
But if you go like downtown or live in a city, it's a lot more. It's like 2,500, almost 3,000 or something around that. But Seattle is very expensive, so no.
I also live with roommates. How do you like yours, by the way?
They're fine, I think. Yeah. I actually
Are you
did.
friends?
Yeah. So yeah, with a couple of them, and then one of them was random, but I actually have a podcast with him. So he is a real estate person, so very inspirational.
That guy, yeah.
Yeah, a few years back, he was serving as like an interpreter in like in a hospital because he speaks Spanish as well. And then you know, he was like a waiter at a restaurant, and then he got his like real estate license, and now he's like doing well. He is going to buy his first house as well. So you know, it's inspirational.
Really?
Yeah, I think in the next few days he's going to sign the paper. So yeah, the thing is like, you know, you can make it if you really put your mind into it. So.
Has he inspired you to become a real estate agent?
You know, he hasn't inspired me like directly to be a real estate agent because I think that's something I want, like obviously like invest in the future, like buy real estate properties as a passive income. But it's something that's you know, like not really like I'm more focused on trying to build like businesses or like be a founder, and like I'm more inclined towards tech. But you know, what he did inspire me was that it's like never too late to switch, and the second thing is like once you make up your mind, you have to go for it. I mean, I've seen him like living with him like in the past year, like how much he just goes after it. If you want something, you just gotta go for it. There's no weekends, there's no off days and stuff. Like if you want it that bad, you gotta go for it. So that way, yeah, he inspired me. But right now, I don't think real estate is probably not. Like my background is engineering. But yeah, like engineering, business, you know, that's kind of like customer startups, tech. That's kind of like more my area of like liking. But yeah, as I told you, like inspired me in other ways. So like if I want to start something, I got to go and get it. So
But what inspires you? You know, it's sometimes like so difficult to find the thing that inspires you.
it is, and I'm trying to figure that out. That's one of the reasons I kind of started this podcast as well. I think like
So that's your kind of therapy, right? You talk to different people and you think like whether it suits me or not.
yeah, I think that's one thing, but also like you know, as you said, like I've always kind of been like very entrepreneurial as well, like starting like different sorts of businesses, like small businesses, like, you know, like not obviously scalable, like not startups, but, you know, here and there in high school, in college, just always like trying to, you know, like just hustle bustle and get some stuff done. Tried my own couple of startups, which didn't do that well. So, you know, I think I always just knew like I wanted to start something. But you know, I was at a point where I was starting some things and it just like didn't feel like I was that passionate. Like I felt like, oh, like maybe this problem isn't big enough as I thought. So, you know, I was reaching out and talking to people anyway, like startup people like you and other people who I think are doing cool stuff. So, you know, I thought like maybe I'll just start a podcast, and that kind of like gives me a way out to pick up brains of people who I think are like building good companies. And then, you know, like eventually like I started my own as well. But at this point I get a good network of people I know. And I just learn from people as well while talking to them. So it's something I've been wanting to do for a while, starting a podcast related to like entrepreneurship and, you know, stuff like that. So, yeah, I'm glad I finally got started with it. So.
Do you know that only 5% of population become entrepreneurs?
Yeah, and I guess like a lot of I'm guessing like a lot of those out of those 5%, like even less actually become successful entrepreneurs, like who are able to make a living out of it, right?
Yeah, it's so risky, and I
Yeah.
don't know, lots of people like don't understand how like scary it is.
Yeah.
And also, like we are always like, actually I wanted to discuss this topic with you, because like we are always inspired by all these kind of like successful assholes, like Andrew Tate or Zuck or founder of Amazon, and they are not like the most honest people. They are not the best people. They
Yeah.
show like they like human characteristics that much. However, we are always inspired by them. Or when we listen to some modern music, to watch these clips, and we see what we see, like expensive cars.
On Instagram and TikTok with all that, yeah.
Yeah, all this like expensive cars, lots of money, parties, nice real estate, and all this stuff. And I don't know, then you look around and you're like in a student crib,
Yeah.
and it's depressive. And then you try to get rid out of it, and you have like one thought: whether I do it because I'm really entrepreneurial, or because I'm scared as fuck that I will be like 35 and I will be like such a mediocre person, with like mediocre life, mediocre wife, mediocre kids, lots of like loans and mortgage and other stuff.
I would say that I think that's a good enough reason to start a company as well, because a lot of people don't fear that. A lot of people want a normal life, and usually like there's some people who don't want that like mediocre life. They're like, no, like I don't want to like. If those people who are really scared of having a mediocre life at 35, that's a good reason to start a business or like do something different, because they're like, okay, like, so there's some people who say that, but they're not scared enough to really do something about it. But if you're scared enough to do something about that, then I think like, it's a good reason to, I think, do something else.
Yeah, or at least be passionate about something.
But you have to,
like,
you have to. Yeah.
I recently started thinking that I would love to have a wife,
Yeah.
because like, why to have a girlfriend
Yeah.
if you break up then? Why not
Yeah.
to have
No, I
someone
agree.
like for,
Yeah.
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 So I thought that I want her to be like very passionate about like any kind of shit, like
Yeah.
anything in this world. Like I don't care about plans, about startups, I don't know, about blockchain, maybe about cooking, maybe about like self-development, painting,
Yeah.
any kind of stuff. Like for me, I don't know, it's Klarr. I'm super excited like
Yeah.
to work for Klarr. However, for her, it should be, I mean, obviously something else, but at least something, because I guess like without this passionate, you're just nothing.
Yeah.
You're like a robot. And
Just trying to like go back into it, like I think other important thing is like when you see all this Instagram stuff like of all these famous people like businessmen, like I think it's like up to us to kind of see like like what inspires them about us. Like with Andrew Tate, like I don't know, I don't think I want to say something, but with like if you think about it, like with people like like well, okay, one thing about like him is like he's a genius in a way that like the way he's spread out, like he knows things he's saying. Like we've talked about this, like how people get trends on TikTok and all this social media and stuff, and he just knows, like he just says the most polarizing things, and like there's some things which are like, okay, like damn, maybe it makes sense, and then he just says something complete, like he just goes to the complete extreme, and like like he avoids all the nuances in the middle, and like he just goes for it. And I think he knows he's doing that. And that's his way of like just becoming famous. And then other people like, like Jeff Bezos or Mark Zuckerberg and stuff. Like I think, obviously as people, there might be something, but some things you can learn from them is like him starting a company, going all in, like building something so valuable that like a lot of people use. And, people find like value in. So those are some things obviously, you can like learn from them. And then, it's up to you to like choose what you like about them and what you don't like about them. That's up to personal. But
you want to have a life of Andrew Tate, because it's kind of like not that complicated. You just invest a couple of €1,000 in producing a high quality content, then you spread it around TikTok, and it's all right. And also build like a, I don't know, money earning scheme. Like,
do you think he has a master plan? Like he talks.
I mean, I believe that he's
that.
genius.
He said that he has this. He said this is his first step, and he has like a second step coming up. Do you think? Like, do you think what the second step is going to be?
Uh, I mean, obviously, the first step is like when people love him and explore the world of Andrew Tate. The second step when they started hating him because now there are like more and more content that he's
Yeah,
an asshole, that he
yeah,
like tries to scam people and all this
yeah,
stuff. So I guess he would try to leverage all this like negative all these like waves of hate and
yeah,
negativity
yeah.
into something nice. I don't know how, but I believe that actually he's smart enough to make all this system run, and
Yeah, I want to like, I like to be like more optimistic about people, and I think like generally I think he knows what he's doing and he's doing that kind of on purpose. I think he's really smart, like he's really like going all out because like if he knows, I feel like more and more you hear him talk like a lot of other podcasts and stuff, like he kind of like uh once you really go deep and start asking him, he starts like being reasonable and like he starts including a bit more nuances. But like the clips we see, most of the times it's just him saying something outrageous on purpose because he knows people are
Mhm.
going to share about it. And like it's one of those things like love him or hate him, but you can't ignore him right now. Like he's everywhere. So I think like what his plan is
Yeah.
probably he's going to like, now that he's created a brand for himself, he has this like, I guess, cult following. Some people like really love him and stuff. I think he's going to
Mhm.
leverage that, as you said, whatever it is, positive or negative. But he's going to leverage that, and then he's going to essentially, I think, use it to build like businesses, merchandise, and like more like now it's just Andrew Tate, but then he's going to like build companies that's like basically
Yeah.
that
I
going to
guess
give him
like
more passive. So
restaurants
he
and clothing brand.
exactly
Yes.
like merch. I think he dropped like his merch now and stuff like hats, t-shirts, and stuff. And I think like he's trying to like maybe go there because now he's conquering internet according to him. So I think now he's going to try to like get some more like passive other sorts of incomes, and where he doesn't have to be on like all these TikToks and stuff all the time.
Mhm.
Like he can find other ways of revenue. But yeah,
I guess he's like Donald Trump, but in TikTok, something like this. Like sometimes he says like something that you
that's
may
interesting
agree
too.
with.
Yeah,
Yeah, most usually it's something like very controversial, but he has lots of followers, and his followers, I don't know, are whatever.
yeah.
But Ah, I've heard this news that there are like now lots of guys who are dumping their girls because they watch like too many videos of Andrew Tate, and basically that he's spoiling like young kids. What do you think about it?
That's a good question. What do I think about it? I think it's funny. I think that's
Really?
I think that's exactly what he wants. The fact that those girls are even talking about him just shows that how smart he is. Like he wants this to happen. And I think like if you're getting influenced by this stuff, like you should like really like if you're really like breaking up with your girlfriend because of this, like the guy should reassess stuff. Like firstly, like just because someone's saying something on the internet, like even like Andrew Tate, as I told you, I don't think he believes like everything he's saying. Like as I told you, he's just saying stuff like because he knows it's gonna be controversial. So if you as someone gonna watch that on TikTok and start applying that in your real life, like everything he says, like I don't know. I like yeah, apply stuff like he says like yeah, work out, exercise, stay fit. Yes, okay, I'll do that. But like if he says something like outrageous, like you should be able to use your own mind and make your own judgments and know that like what is true, what is not, and but I think that's like the bigger problem with like social media, right? Like it's hard for
Hmm.
like a lot of like younger people to filter out. Like we're saying this because we kind of older, we understand like what he's trying to do because like we want our like podcast and whatever like business to grow as well. So we kind of understand. But there are a lot of maybe younger kids who don't understand this, who just believe everything they see on the internet, and that's like risky. But the whole breaking up thing, like I don't know, I kind of find it funny because it's like because like one person's saying some stuff random, like, and guys are actually like like I don't know, it's just like funny, like. I don't know how much of it is even true because honestly, like a lot of people use him as a bait to like get famous as well. Like like they know like if they talk about Andrew Tate or like writes like use him as a joke, like
Hmm.
they'll get views. So, but yeah, I kind of find it like I try to not take it as serious as a thing. Like I try to take it as more as a funny thing. Like it just seems like when he's talking, like sometimes even he laughs because he just knows like what he's saying. Like there's one video of him selling like he will fight if his son's like a nerd or something. Like it's like, he just says something like random, and then he's like, "Are you actually serious?" And then he just starts laughing. He's like, "Nah, like I'm just like," but he says stuff like that, and I think it just like, yeah, people should not take it too seriously. But that's my
But don't you
opinion.
think it's like a propaganda of bullshit? Like
His,
how in Russia they have like their own propaganda, and like
yeah,
lots of people support Putin here.
yeah,
We have like this around the world, lots of people support Andrew Tate, and he is. I mean, he's not telling anything good. I mean, of course, like drink like 3 liters of water,
yeah,
exercise, and all this like common sense plus bullshit, like common sense and bullshit. That's
yeah,
Andrew Tate basically.
yeah.
Because I mean, I'm truly into like feminism and equal rights and all this stuff.
Yeah.
So I believe that human should be as free as possible, and personal freedom ends where freedom of another person starts. However, like people spend like so much time to make, first of all, like special groups of people free, right?
Yeah.
If we talk about like black guys, because you know the story. Then the women were fighting for their rights. Then LGBT community. Then
Ah.
feminist girls, and all this stuff. And then here comes Andrew Tate with his bullshit, and he's kind of like spoiling all the work. Because it's nothing about being respectful. It's nothing about being tolerable.
Tolerable. Tolerate. Yeah, tolerable.
Oh fuck. Yeah. It's nothing about being a nice person. It's like
Yeah.
about being a jerk for people who have nothing to be jerk. I believe that if you're a billionaire, you may be jerk. You
Yeah.
worked your ass off to reach all this wellness. You're super smart. You oversmarted the system because system tries to make you a middle class person, right?
Yeah.
So you're super smart, and you may be jerk. Why not?
Yeah.
However, if you're a broke-ass student who receives money from the parents, really, and you listen to Andrew Tate and you do all this crap?
See, that's the thing. That's what I'm saying. Getting back to it, like I feel like people should be able to make their own judgments. As you said, if you're like someone like who's broke, who's not like just who's not really changing anything, like maybe a lot of them like who like saying all this stuff like don't actually do half the things he does. Like at the end of the day, he does like work out and he does like grind for his business and stuff. So a lot of these people who try to like just decide to just listen to that bullshit part of Andrew Tate are not actually doing any actual work. They're just lying in their beds, as you said, getting money from their parents or whatever, and just spending a lot of time just doing this, like talking about Andrew Tate. But I don't know. I think I'm curious about what do you think, like how rich he is. Like, do you think he's
I mean, I believe that he's, quite rich, super rich, I would say.
I mean, he bought that
at
Bugatti.
least-
Like,
yeah, I guess he has like $100 million easily
Yeah.
because he's selling his online course. I don't remember how much it costs, but the thing is that
I think it's like 49 per month or something. I could be wrong, but
yeah, you see 49 per month, and even if you have like 10,000 people, that's $500,000,
Yeah.
right? Every month. And he already pre-recorded all the videos, so
I think he's going to get into like entertainment as well. Actually, curious. Maybe do some boxing with like the Logan Paul or Jake Paul brothers. And
I think he may go to politics.
That's interesting.
Because
but which
lots
one
of
though? He
people-
lives in Romania right now. You think he's going to come to U.S. politics or?
Of course, he lives in Romania.
Yeah.
Quite close to Vienna.
So I don't know. I
believe,
don't think
yeah,
I don't think he's going to go to politics. I don't think so. I think he's going to do something like entertainment or business or something. Like it's risky for him to
I
go
wouldn't
to
be.
politics. How will he go into like with everything he said? Like
I wouldn't be surprised if he has a collaboration with Trump, for example. Actually, it sounds kind of like natural for them to merge. And I've heard that Trump wants to apply for the next election. So why not?
I don't know.
Or he may start like lobbying different parties. because lots of people listen to him. There are lots of people who understand that it's bullshit,
Yeah.
but still, those who trust him, they would do whatever he
But
says.
here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. You think like most of his like cult followers are even of age to. So like, okay, like let's not deny. Like everyone knows who Andrew Tate is, right? But I think most of people like above 21, like maybe of 20s, like most of his cult followers are, I think, younger audience. So like.
Yeah, teenagers, I
Yeah,
guess.
so they probably can't vote anyway. So I don't know like how much of a influence that makes. Like,
There was one politician in Ukraine who targeted his campaign on grannies, and he was super successful.
but they can
You know,
vote though, right? Like the kids, the teenagers, like 14-year-olds, 12-year-olds, like 13-year-olds, they can't like vote. So like,
Yeah, but they may spread the word about him, and the more
maybe.
people talk, the more someone would vote.
Yeah. I guess we'll have to wait and see. You think he's going to be a politician? I think he's going to go into more like entertainment. Like he's probably going to do some boxing, some YouTube people, or he's going to focus on like building a business and stuff, like where he doesn't have to be on camera as much as he is right now. I think I've already noticed it, but I think as it keeps going on, he's going to tone down his views,
Fame.
like his views and his polarizing nature. Like he's going to kind of like start going down. I don't know. I think so. Because I think that was his strategy of becoming big, just saying outrageous stuff and, just becoming relevant, so relevant. And then I think he's going to start like slowing down a bit, but we'll have to see with that.
Yeah, and like I'm so sorry for all these guys who are his followers, because I mean it's really complicated to be a man, to be honest. Like I would say it's kind of easier, I guess, like in my humble opinion, like it's a bit easier to be a girl, right? And I mean I kind of think that those guys are not the most successful, right? As far as they buy in courses from Entertain.
Yeah.
So they are stuck with all the problems, or they are like too young, they're like mere kids. And of course, when you're a kid, I guess there is no difference whether it's like 50 Cent telling you something, or Andrew Tate, or another rich guy who has Bugatti and tells you like, okay, like do this, talk to women like this, earn money in this way, and you will also have this Bugatti and this mansion and this stuff. Do you think it's difficult to be a man or not?
I'm going to be very careful with what I say. But I think it is. What do you think it is?
Of course.
Yeah,
of course
I think it is. I think it is. But again, it's like, see, that's the thing. Like some things, he starts saying something, it's difficult to be a man. I'll be like, okay. And then he goes on to say something more, and they're just like, bro, like, that's too much. But I think, yeah, I agree. Like, I think it's difficult to be a man. It's difficult to be a woman as well. Like, I think it's difficult to be both. They go through some things that we can never go through. And I completely respect them. And I think being a man has its own things as well. Men are much lonelier, I think. And that kind of like goes back to your Klarr thing, which I actually wanted to talk to you about as well. But I guess we're transitioning well then. But yeah, I think generally like men are much lonelier. I think it's very hard for men to get noticed. They don't get as much attention. And I think, a lot of men are lonely. And I think the reason for that, one factor is also just like other men trying to impress their friends and stuff by like, not showing emotions. So I think that's like one thing. There's maybe more stigma about men being lonelier or going through more like mental health issues in the society as well. And that's what he talks about, I think, as well. So I kind of agree with him in that thing that like, if a man does say that he has his problems and he can't work, like no one cares. Like they're gonna move on. That's the hard part about being a man for sure. And yeah, I think most men probably don't get noticed. You have to really be something different. And like in your case as well, like do you think like I don't know how much of like individual like customers you've interviewed, but do you think like it's more likely that men are to use this Klarr app? Because so for two reasons, like, well, not for two reasons, but like what I think is because like maybe they doing it online or anonymous is easier for them as opposed to like going out and telling their friends or family and then going to hospitals and like, seeing one in person. But it's easier for them to do it online because no one knows, or like none of their friends or family knows that they're meeting a psychotherapist.
Yeah, I mean, there is totally this stigma about men and psychotherapy. And I guess, of course, as you told, it's complicated to be a human in general, right? And I know that girls and people who identify themselves neither like men nor like women have the problems, and these problems of course are also important and huge for them. However, it feels like no one talks about men problems. I don't know any type of guy who has a podcast on like how complicated it's to be a man and how to solve all these issues, right? And of course like human expectations on us, and as you told, like loneliness. You know that most of the girls have, on average, way more matches on Tinder than the average guy.
Yeah, I mean, that's obviously,
Yeah, all my friends, every time they swipe right, they have match.
Yeah.
Every time I swipe right and I have a match, I feel so happy. It's like a new miracle. Really, this girl likes me,
like,
and I'm not the ugliest.
I think the stats are like, top 5-10% of men only get all the matches, and like in women, it's like almost every girl on Tinder, like 90% or something, like get the matches. That's how it's made. I was actually reading a book called Cold Start Problem, and they kind of talk about that. Like how like men are just like spending, I guess, more time or something at it because like they don't get as many nearly as many matches, like no matter how like good you are on the scale or whatever. But yeah, sorry, continue.
Yeah. I mean completely. I 100% agree with you. We don't have these matches, and you know what we do? We proceed liking them. And that's an issue. We are spoiling everything on our own and then trying to deal with it.
Yeah.
Isn't it stupid? It is. And we are super lonely.
Yeah.
Like, because we are often perceived, as creepy, as strange, as weird, as aggressive, as violent, or, I don't know, like as a potential threat.
Yeah.
And the problem is that, of course, there are these people who, these men, of course, that are really dangerous for the whole society, right? And there are men who commit crimes. However, it feels like there is, I don't know, a common responsibility. I cannot walk the street late at night because I think that people think that I'm a murderer or a rapist or something. Every time, so it's like really late at night, I'm heading home, I'm super tired, and there is a girl who walks like 5 steps in front of me with the same speed. I don't know what to do. I think that she thinks that I'm following her, and I'm crossing the road just to make it more comfortable for her.
Yeah.
And I guess like lots of guys do it.
Yeah, I think that's true. I mean, it's tough to. In a lot of societies and countries, that happens a lot to women. So like, it's kind of tough to blame them for it as well. But there's some things.
Yeah, but I'm not blaming women. I'm blaming other guys.
Yeah. No, true. No matter how much people deny, that is the truth, though. Men do face a lot more loneliness, and in that aspect, it's very hard to be a man. In that specific area, like, yeah.
And it feels that also expectations from men are way higher than from women.
Yep.
Because so recently a friend of mine
used to be 6'2" on 6 figures, have 6-pack abs, like.
Yeah, all this stuff. And unfortunately, most of us are not nearly.
Yeah.
But still, like a friend of mine, he is having a wedding, and I know a bride and a groom. Groom, yes.
Groom.
Yeah, a bride and a groom.
The groom,
groom. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah, I know a bride and a groom, and the thing is that the first question that was asked to him when he told like we are getting married was like, "Do you have money for that?"
Yeah.
And the first question to the bride was about I don't know, about the style of the wedding or decoration.
Yeah.
Like no one thought that she would pay it on her own, like either parents' help or her future husband. So even when we want to get married, we need to pay for it. We need to deserve it, you know?
Yeah.
We need to have enough money to afford having a wife.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, go find like a second job, third job, and all this stuff.
Yeah.
And you cannot work at Starbucks, you cannot work at McDonald's, at Amazon, I don't know, only in Microsoft or something like that. And so many men are perceived as creepy just because they are like stressed when they approaching girls.
Yeah. Awkward.
Have you ever seen a creepy girl? I don't know, one or two in the whole life.
Yeah.
And they probably, you know, live somewhere on a street and this kind of people.
Yeah, maybe just like the men are just awkward, so they maybe come out as creepy sometimes.
Yeah, we are super awkward. I'm super awkward.
Maybe you can.
Always.
Maybe
I
you
don't know,
should.
like those.
Yeah, maybe what would be interesting is you using the Klarr and like maybe starting a podcast that talks about that stuff, like a mental health podcast as well.
Yeah, or maybe I buy this online course from Entertain and see.
You know, so one thing
me.
is interesting. One thing interesting about that thing is like before we try and like move on from this topic was the way he does it is actually kind of smart. So in his course, you know how he does a test where like people basically once you join the course, you take a test or something to see like what your skills are, what your interests are and stuff. And there's like different ways of how they teach you how to make money. And one of the ways of making money is this. So what you do is you take clips of Andrew Tate and stuff and like you start uploading everywhere. And then I think you get paid for it based on like editing the video and uploading around. So that's what all these videos that you see. Andrew Tate himself does not have TikTok, but he has all these people that have taken his course or that are taking his course that are uploading like affiliate videos of him. And then they're getting paid for that. And, you know, they're making a following from Andrew Tate and stuff. So that's how he's like getting so famous on TikTok without even being existent, without even existing on the app. So yeah,
just because of a nice referral system and lots of needy people, you know, because they are craving for this like additional like 10 or 20 bucks because either they are broke as fuck or they are just kids who want I don't know to buy their first ice cream on their own or something like that and depress their families. Yeah,
I think just one last thing I want to say before this was with Andrew Tate that, as you said before, you can't like ignore him at this point. But, you know, there are a lot of people in the past as well. I think like the Paul brothers, I'm not sure if you know them, you know, like Logan Paul, Joe. Like I used to have this conversation like a few years back with friends as well. Like they're kind of like marketing geniuses because they know what they're doing. Sometimes they do controversial stuff to stay relevant and, you know, they just keep doing that. Like the whole Logan Paul and KSI thing kind of saved Logan Paul's like career at that time, the boxing thing, you know. But yeah,
like it wasn't like that famous before the video from Japan, right?
Yeah, and I think that kind of like that was kind of like he I think messed up and his career was going downward, and then he found a way to become relevant again. So, you know, all like geniuses actually, and like how your personal brand is, how big and famous you are, it helps a lot. And like, you know, they started Prime, and obviously it's doing so well because Logan Paul and KSI are so famous. So it's like if you start a company, then that really helps you and gives you, you know, a differentiator, that like competitive edge for your company. Which makes me ask the question to you is, what do you think is your company's competitive edge? Because or unique selling point? Because there's so many companies that, well, not so many. That's wrong. There are a couple of companies that I actually get advertised for, like BetterHelp, which is I think more US concentrated, which kind of does a similar thing. So yeah, what do you think is your competitive edge?
First of all, we do not use American approach because they pay actually way less to the therapist, and I don't know, it feels like they are just exploiting lots of people and they don't give any high quality therapy.
Wait, I mean, so in America they pay lesser, you said?
Yeah, they pay $25 per hour. Come on.
Okay. I didn't know. I
mean, that's a good money for I don't know, for a student, you know, or for an entry-level job. But an average cost of therapy is $125 per hour, so 5 times
in
as
Austria.
Much. But no, in the US.
Okay.
Like they pay only 20% of the full cost of a therapy to the doctors.
Okay.
And also they have this option, for example, just to have a chat
Yeah.
without like any video or audio communication with the doctor.
Okay.
And that's stupid. First,
That is
that's
interesting.
yeah, it's not working. So basically, what we decided that first of all, amazing and very comfortable UX,
Yeah.
because we want to target not only young people but adults and someone who is like 60 plus. So it should be clear for them what to do. Second of all, AI matching algorithm, because we want to also to make a big study with
Yeah.
all these numbers and to pick the best therapist for a particular person. Yeah, and also we try to reduce price as much as possible by communicating with insurance companies and with like different NGOs. So maybe they like for their members give like special discounts or something like that. So that's our like our three pillars of Klarr. Yeah.
What do you think is, have you noticed like added to that, like the cost of interest? Do you like what, in terms of the client side as well, like, is there a difference between the people that are using these services in the US as opposed to the people that are using these services in Austria or Germany?
Yeah, I would say in Austria and Germany, they feel like it feels that everything is like way more serious here. You know, like if they have therapy, they want to have it high quality. They cannot just like chat with
Yeah.
the doctor or like have, I don't know, a weekly 30 minutes call or something like that. I mean, if Austrian person has a hobby, they do it like so professional. First of all, they do it like regularly. Second of all, they buy the best equipment. You know, when you see someone
Yeah.
mountain biking and their bike cost more than a car of your father, and you're like, crap,
Yeah.
really? And these people, they simply want to enjoy what they are doing. They don't want to be like the first. They don't want like to take part in the competitions. They want to do
Winning.
everything they do professionally. Yes.
That's interesting. So that's the difference in the US and Austria.
Yeah, I would
Yeah.
say so.
Um, what has been the biggest challenge for you building this startup?
I would say time and money, the classic challenges, to be
Yeah.
honest.
But
Because yeah, either we may spend like lots of time during something on our own when we're learning how to do it, you know,
yeah.
or we just like burn money. And we try to save as much as possible because we need lots of money for ads and stuff. So
Do you think it's harder to build a mental health startup as compared to like a lot of the other software businesses?
I wouldn't say that it's hard. Yeah, I mean, if you're a good manager, it's not hard. Why should it be
Yeah.
hard? You know, like comparing to other businesses. Like every business has its own specifics, right?
Yeah.
So of course you need to know all this stuff. You need to understand how it works, and also you have your team. You know, you don't need to do everything on your own.
Sorry, my lenses are acting a bit weird. So if you think I'm gonna cry, I'm not actually. Just my contact lenses are.
Okay, so it's not me being dramatic.
Yeah. Now it is. It's you. You have a very powerful voice, making emotion. Right? I was asking that if you think it's been harder to like talk to your customers just because it's a bit more like sensitive topic.
I mean, it is a sensible. Okay. The thing is that I'm very proud that I do mental health
Yeah.
startup, to be honest, because the value is here. The value is like very clear,
Yeah.
and everyone understands that it's a good thing to do. There is nothing controversial. It's not like spreading, as we told, like some Andrew Tate videos. It's not gambling stuff. It's not something illegal.
Yeah.
There is, we are helping people, and that's what we are claiming everywhere. So we try to not to dive deep into like all these emotional topics, because I believe it should be kept between therapist and the client, right? But we want to, but as far as our goal is like that nice and clear, it's not difficult. It's easy. Everyone understands it. It's beautiful and very sophisticated.
Amazing. So I found you through TikTok. You were uploading your daily, like day 1, day 2, and you roll a joint and then you talk about how your day went.
It's not a joint.
Oh,
it's
what is
an
it?
ordinary cigarette.
Oh, okay, my bad. I've just never seen that before, so it's like I thought it was a joint.
Yeah, TikTok one thought that it's a joint and banned this video.
Oh shit. Yeah, TikTok banned a video when you sent me your video, and I was like, yup, I'll like add it or something, and then TikTok said I was like violating community guidelines. I don't know why.
I mean, TikTok is very weird.
Yeah. But yeah, I found you through TikTok. So how do you use TikTok? And one quick advice I have for you was like, when I noticed like you were doing your daily vlogs, like I still watch it now as well. Most days, I think. I noticed that like maybe sometimes the videos might be too long. So it's like, which is kind of interesting because it makes me stay as well. Because I'm like, I want to know like what happened. But maybe sometimes it's like, like maybe a few minutes and I'm like, oh, like, damn, I need to like do something else. It's like, it's almost like a YouTube vlog, It's like, I think like maybe TikTok maybe supposed to be a bit shorter. So it's like, like you kind of tell people really quick, like within 1 minute, like how your day went and stuff. But yeah, like, so I'm just curious about how you use TikTok because it's working for you. I see you're getting a lot of followers and yeah.
Yeah, basically, so my plan was to release this educational content that everyone loves, like top 5 websites, top 4, I don't know, life hacks and all this stuff. But still, I felt that I have this lack of confidence when I convince people on TikTok. That's why I started like simply talking for 3 minutes, and 3 minutes, that's like the longest video that you may record on TikTok on your own. And so it wasn't a part of a plan at all. I was like trying to learn the skill, how to look confident, how to talk confident, how to talk without all these like poses and not lose your thoughts somewhere. And then, I don't know, like people became interested and started like commenting on it and liking and watching it. And I always tell that there is no useful information at all. It's just like my thoughts. And but then it appeared to be like the best 3 minutes of my evening,
That's interesting.
I collect all the thoughts from my day and release them. And I only have 3 minutes. It used to be that, oh damn, I have 3 minutes. Now it's only now.
Yeah. So you're documenting your life basically, Gary Vee style.
Kind of.
Yeah.
My advice for TikTok, I don't know, would be to post a lot, to try different formats. But first, like, you need to understand like what content you want to, you're comfortable doing.
Yeah.
Because TikTok is always a long run. Okay.
Yeah.
You need to post at least 2-3 videos per day.
Yeah.
Right. That's why you need to produce this like 2-3 videos.
Yeah.
And in the beginning, it would take quite a while. Consider like at least an hour, like to write all the script, to film it, to edit, to cut all this stuff. So you will need to be like very persistent.
Yeah.
And it's easy to be persistent with the content that you like to do and you feel professional about. That's why I don't do any psychological advices that help and all this stuff, because I'm not an expert. I'm scared that I may harm someone by, reading an article like how to avoid depression and then telling this bullshit straight ahead. But I got comfortable with the format. I also passed a couple of tests for my values, and I believe this is important. So you know your values, and you look for audience with the same values, and you clearly communicate all the ideas. So one of them, for example, is adventure. I'm very adventurous. Like every day something interesting happens to me, and yeah, love my life. That's why I do nothing about adventures. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, it sucks.
What are your thoughts on Gen Z businesses or Gen Z founders that are starting businesses? Do you think it's going to
You
keep
mean kids
increasing?
running companies?
Yeah, maybe like not that young, probably like 20-year-olds who are starting companies. And do you think they're focusing on the right things, and do you think there'll be an increase in, more younger people starting businesses? Because it's getting much easier, I think, to start online businesses.
I mean, I believe that they are cool. I believe that they pursue their dreams from
Yeah.
one side, and I know, like my parents usually tell me, like, Misha, first to run a business, you need to have like a proper education, then you need to have a
Yeah.
proper experience, then you need to earn enough money to not officially work for a couple of months or maybe half a year or even longer. Then you have also responsibilities because you have wife and kids and stuff, and actually there is no good time when you run a business. And then you're like 50 and like, oh, sorry, you're too old for that.
Yeah.
So basically, I think that the younger it start, the better, because you may learn all these necessary skills just by practicing them. Because universities won't help you to become a businessman
Yeah.
or entrepreneur.
What is your long-term vision with Klarr? And are you gonna bring in like different products and services within it?
Yeah, so we want to have vertical and horizontal integrations. That means that we want to expand to as much countries as possible.
Okay.
And we also want to have similar project with just different doctors.
Yeah.
Because unfortunately, healthcare is quite complicated to digitalize. And if we have experience with psychotherapy, and that's super complicated, then we may help other doctors with all this like relevant experience.
Okay.
So that's my goal. And of
And when you
course,
mean like other countries, do you mean like around Europe, or do you mean like different continents as well, like the US, India, like Middle East or whatever?
I mean, I would start with Europe
Yeah.
and then see, and then we'll see.
Have you thought about like doing it in different languages as well? Because like, I think people might find it easier to talk in their mother tongue.
Yeah, currently it's in English and in German,
Oh, okay.
but usually it's enough. Usually it's enough now.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, we will add later, but as for now, it's only two. We're trying to build an MVP, not a spaceship.
That's super interesting. So moving into university, since I just graduated as well, and you're also almost graduating, is how valuable well, I guess you already touched into it, so we can like dive into it now. How valuable do you think like universities are for entrepreneurs or people who want to be entrepreneurs? And I mean, I guess it does help obviously a lot of fields. And also with that entrepreneurship, if you want to build business, like build a product, like it gives some of the engineers and some people like some of the hard skills. But I also think it's a good place to maybe network and find co-founders of other people who are, who have similar interests as you. But yeah, what are your thoughts on that?
I mean, as we discussed it before, 95% of people are not gonna run their own company.
Yeah.
And of course, universities, usually it's public companies, right? I mean, they are governed by state.
Yeah.
Right. So their goal is to provide as much people as possible with high quality education.
Yeah.
And they are focusing on these 95% of future employees. That's why I would say that in the end, you would have the same knowledge as and someone's employee, right? But all the like relevant experience for being an entrepreneur, you will need to gain on your own. So you have like all this basic knowledge, but nothing special.
But a lot of universities have like entrepreneurship courses and degrees. So do you think they're useful at all, or?
I'm taking one,
Yeah.
actually, and that's a mere bullshit.
That's what I've heard from most
I
people. Because most of the people that are even teaching this haven't actually started businesses of their own, and
Yeah, that's about my teacher.
they're teaching all this theory stuff, and then there's a couple of people within the audience that are actually making like 6-7 figures off their businesses every month, and they're like having to sit through these classes, and they're being taught by a teacher who just studied entrepreneurship, and then like they didn't start anything of their own, and then they just went on to teaching it again and just teaching theory stuff and all that stuff. So
Yeah, I guess like the main problem that they don't know what to teach, because I would say that it's from one side it's impossible to teach entrepreneurship. However, there are like lots of these situations that happen every day. You
yeah,
know, you have a call with your potential partner
yeah,
or with your supplier. You want to negotiate a better price, or you simply don't know how to do it, but you need to solve this issue as
yeah,
soon as possible. So all these like negotiation skills, they are important, but they are never taught in a university. I had one class in negotiation management, and they were telling me that when you are in Japan, you need to first talk to the oldest guy in the room, then to the youngest, and all this stuff. I mean, maybe it's there. However, now I'm in Austria and I need to know how to talk to Austrians, okay?
yeah,
Let's solve an issue with them. They are here,
yeah,
colder. And after that, we may start talking about Japan, you know?
yeah.
So I know all these like extreme cases, but I didn't know how to talk to people when I
In
started
your own
company.
local area.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, and it's ridiculous.
yeah,
Also, taxes. How not to pay taxes,
yeah,
how to avoid them, but in a legal way, how to pay as less as possible. They don't teach it.
yeah,
They just simply tell that they exist. They may tell why they exist, but eventually you need to find a special like taxation agent, right? The same is like with legal issues. Like lots of people who graduate from economic universities, they don't know the difference between like different company types,
yeah.
you know, and but then you need to learn all this stuff again. So it's nothing specifically made for entrepreneurs,
Yeah.
but yeah.
How do you think they can improve it? Or do you
They
think
need
like
to
do you
have.
think it's like not worth it? Maybe you should just, if you want to be an entrepreneur, you should just start your own business. Maybe that's just the way. Or do you think they can improve it somehow?
I mean, they may do it in a form of mentorship. So they
Have
invite
ex
prominent
entrepreneurs, yeah.
entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
Yeah, and only people with ideas apply to these courses,
Yeah.
and then these mentors help them
Or
with
or
real
if
life
like someone's
cases.
just interested and maybe they want to like work with someone else or like start like an early, because a lot of the earlier people who are in a business, they might not like officially be entrepreneurs, but they all have to kind of work as entrepreneurs as well. Because if it's like just a team of 5 people, as you said, none of them are like employees, you know. So all of them have
Hmm.
basically like the entrepreneurs because they have to like do a lot of stuff and like help the company grow. So maybe I think that would be an interesting thing as well. People who not necessarily have an idea, but they're willing to join as a co-founder in another company or like
No.
no.
I would disagree with you because these people are not entrepreneurial at all. They just found the niche they want to work for, but they are not building a company.
No, but
They have different
there's some
mindset.
people who might not have an idea at this present moment, but maybe, you know, they like once joining this thing, they can like
If you
just,
don't have an idea, go work for an industry,
yeah.
earn decent money, find an idea, and fund it with this money. Why to waste time working for free?
Oh, if you like work, no, but I mean like in the terms of, like if you're studying the course in university,
Yeah,
like
but I mean,
it should be open for anyone who wants to study it though, I feel like, you know?
I had this course, and we were building companies
Yeah.
there. And the thing is that I was working for someone else's idea,
Yeah.
and I wasn't even interested in this
Mm.
idea. That's the problem.
Yeah.
So,
And I think
but I'm
a true in the
interested with
sense like,
Klarr.
because I took one entrepreneurship class and in that like it was kind of like we had to like make a business idea and stuff as well. And I realized like I was kind of like going all in because I was like maybe there's a chance that I want to work on it after the class ends as well. Like, you know, like that's the way I was about it. But all the other people just like whatever. Like I just want to get the grades and leave. So I think what you're saying is true.
Mhm.
It's like, you know, you have to really want to start a company and have a good idea, I guess, or like at least have an idea of like what industry or what thing you want to do, and then, you know, and not just like take the class for grades or whatever. So
Yeah.
So, what are you most excited about in the future? Any specific technology, business, apart from Klarr, obviously, but any specific technology or business or person or idea, concept that you're most excited about in the future?
I would be very excited to find a wife. I recently had this thought. It just like popped up in my head.
Yeah,
I was always like against like marriage. I was like child free, like this
yeah,
kind of guy, But then I was like, why do I even need to have a girlfriend if I may have, this
yeah,
person till the end of my life who I would like adore and love and be crazy about,
yeah,
Then why do I need someone else?
yeah,
And I got like so obsessed with this idea that now I'm kind of looking for one. Of course, for like
yeah,
long-term stuff.
yeah,
So, like, I don't want to get married now.
yeah,
Maybe like in like 5, 7 years,
yeah. But you
whatever.
want to start meeting
But
the person now.
yes, of course, I want to found the one. I don't know. I'm not sure whether she exists. She'd better be. But yeah, because I simply don't want to waste my life on like different relations and
Yeah,
situationships that wouldn't lead to anything.
yeah,
That would just like waste my time, my energy, and eventually, I don't know, breakups are unpleasant,
yeah.
right?
Would you want her to
Uh,
like maybe like work with you as well or something, or in Klarr, or that doesn't matter for you?
it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
I have like zero expectations, zero criteria, but
she should be passionate
I
about
want
something.
her. Yeah, she should be passionate about
Yeah,
something, and I guess that's all.
yeah.
And very beautiful, I hope.
That's cute. I hope you find the one soon, and then where you gonna have your wedding, in Austria or in
I would
Ukraine?
love to have it in Ukraine.
Yeah.
Yeah, with my family, with my grandma, and
Uh,
Ukraine is very beautiful. Maybe somewhere like near Odessa by the sea,
yeah.
or near Carpathian Mountains. It's wonderful there.
Maybe I get invited as well, but then
For sure. You already have it. I don't have a wife, but you already invited.
where do you think you're gonna find your wife? Like, you think? Because I think after college ends, like it's very hard to find a like people, right? Like meet people. It kind of gets
Mhm.
difficult because you're not surrounded by that many people.
I mean, if I found her on Tinder, we would make up a new story
Yeah, yeah,
that we met somewhere in a coffee shop or
yeah,
something like that. Uh, I don't know. I would love to meet her through friends, you know.
yeah,
So like I mean, I'm not that big fan of Tinder dates
yeah,
because I mean, to be honest, it's weird. It's
yeah,
like two strangers
yeah.
that kind of like each other
Based
even
on
though they
looks,
had
yeah,
like a tiny
yeah,
chat,
yeah,
yeah, based on looks, and then you need to keep it like funny, and you need to keep it like a bit hot and
yeah,
interesting and all this stuff, and usually it doesn't work like you plan,
yeah,
and it's just weird. That's why I want you one day to go to the party and meet her there, talk to her, fall in love
yeah.
immediately, and I don't know, then make something out of it. Or maybe not immediately, so I'm keeping my mind cold. I fully acknowledge like all her benefits and drawbacks and
Yeah.
still make a decision like to ask her to be my wife.
How is the culture like in Austria? Like usually, like I've been around Europe a lot of times, mostly the UK.
Hmm.
So was there for a bit, but I mean, just like in Austria, like how does that work? Like how do usually people like? Is there a big like pub or bar culture there where you like go and like meet girls there or like?
Oh, they drink a lot,
Yeah.
man.
So how
They
is that
drink
where a
really a
lot of
lot.
people like find their like girlfriends or wives? Like maybe outside, like in bars and stuff.
Yeah, usually it's either dating apps,
Yeah.
university, or just at parties.
Yeah.
But they very often have these house parties.
Yeah.
And yeah, I guess I would go to one right after this podcast.
Oh, okay. This guy's ready. So yeah, we
Yeah.
should probably wrap it up soon so you can go have fun.
No, we have enough time.
It'd be amazing. It'd be
Yeah.
amazing if you go and then you find your wife there today after everything.
Yeah, would be really nice.
So the one thing I find interesting. What time is it? It's like 9:30, 10 p.m. now there. 10:30, I think.
It's 10:38.
Yeah, that's the one thing I like about Europe is that like parties and stuff they start very late and like they go on to like very late. You have like after party where people still do stuff until like morning, you know.
Yeah.
But in the US it's a bit different. I think it's stuff gets closed a lot earlier, like 1, 2 a.m., 1 a.m., 2 a.m., which is kind of different for like what I was used to. Like I'm mostly like a person who likes to stay up later in the night and like stuff later. Even where I grew up, like in Abu Dhabi, like just like a lot of Europeans there as well. Like even in my school, so like I was just used to like like it was more like easier for people to stay up late, and that's just how it was. And then when I used to visit UK and stuff, it was similar. And then I came to the US, and then it was like, oh, like things close at 1 p.m. Like damn, I'm just getting started. Like so it's a bit different here. That's the thing I like about Europe. Like parties start a bit later and they go a bit later as well. So like, yeah.
Yeah, I faced this issue in Glasgow.
Yeah.
Like they start partying around 8 in the evening, and I don't know, for me it's like super early. Like I'm still working at 8.
Yeah.
My work day usually ends like around 10 or 11, and that's normal for
So
me.
when you mean work day, you
And-
mean like work in a startup as well, or?
Yes,
Okay.
yes. And then they are like shit-faced at 10 p.m.
Yeah.
You go to the bar and everyone is like super drunk.
Yeah.
They are leaving home. And I'm like, what the hell? And you haven't drank like even a single shot
Yeah.
yet. And lots of bars, maybe because of like any COVID restrictions or stuff,
Yeah.
like they close at midnight.
Yeah.
That's actually
I
like
thought-
the best time of the night, midnight, when you like order lots of shots and drinks,
Yeah.
when you understand that you either that you go home or that you party till morning, right?
I thought like Glasgow was like later in the night. I thought they had a good nightlife.
I
No?
wouldn't say so.
You wouldn't say so?
Or at least I haven't found anything like
Okay.
super decent. I mean, Friday, Saturday, yes, but any other day,
Yeah. Okay.
it doesn't work.
Oh
like
yeah.
that.
So it's what Tuesday there. So you're going. So it's like there's specific weekdays in like in Austria where like people go out as well.
On Friday and Saturday, the metro works 24/7 in
Okay.
Vienna.
Okay.
So that's like usually party days and stuff. But the thing is that Austrians, they drink a lot, but they kind of don't get drunk. And
Just
that's
enough
a
drink to get
great
like
bullet.
tipsy or buzzed or something.
Yeah, and they drink all the time. Like
Yeah.
my Austrian friends may drink during the lecture, and that's okay. Like
Yeah.
during the lunch break, like a couple of
Yeah.
beers, that's also normal
Yeah.
in the evening. But to see them, I don't know, being drunk and aggressive,
Yeah.
I don't know, it almost never happened to me.
Okay. That's interesting. I
Like
didn't
they're
know that.
really responsible drinkers.
Okay. That's interesting. So Misha, when do you feel the happiest, and what are your sources of happiness in general?
When do I feel the happiest? Damn, that's... I knew that I would need to answer this question, but
You can take your time.
I don't
there's no
know.
worries.
when I feel the happiest. I mean, apart from Klarr.
Well, Klarr could
I mean,
be
of
one
course,
thing.
when
Klarr could be one thing. So you feel happiest when you're working for Klarr?
Yes, and of course, these like small wins, they
Yeah.
always keep me being happy.
Yeah.
I would
That's a
say
fair answer. Are there other sources of
actually it happens quite it happens quite randomly.
Okay.
Because I don't know how it works, but sometimes I wake up and I understand that it's gonna be a wonderful day. I open my eyes and I love this world. And sometimes I wake up and I already understand that it's gonna be a shitty day.
Yeah.
And every day is random, to be honest. It doesn't mean that if it's a shitty day, I would stay the whole day in bed watching Netflix
Yeah.
or something like that. No, I'm still working. I'm still doing the stuff that I need to do because, like, Team of 8 sounds nice, but that's responsibility for 8 people. Because every of them believe in me, they believe in Klarr, and they are spending their time working for this company instead of earning additional money,
Yeah.
instead of like bringing this money to their families. So they trust me, and I need to do something with it. I need to learn, because I mean, I'm only 24. I'm going to be 25 in a month, but
Yeah.
still, I need to learn so many things. I have all these books, all these courses. We need to do lots of stuff. And I simply cannot give up. And usually, this happiness just appears, out of nowhere. Like yesterday, I was walking the city, and I felt so happy. Just out of the
Just
blue.
looking at the
And it
nature
was
and looking
nice.
at everything else outside.
Yeah, and sometimes I even like have some tattoos because I felt happy that
Yeah.
day. Not every time I'm happy I'm doing them,
Yeah.
but sometimes just like to remember.
It's interesting. Human happiness is not always controlled. It just comes in random waves and
Yeah.
goes. So, kind of to wrap it up, obviously you're still very early in your life, hopefully, and even in your career with Klarr as well. But what do you envision your future to be, and like, what do you want your legacy to be remembered as?
To be honest, I don't care about legacy. I don't need this fame. I don't work for like big money and
Yeah.
all this stuff. I still for me it's like a bit challenge to call myself
Yeah.
entrepreneur. Still to call Klarr a startup. I use words like colleagues, friends, teammates, partners instead of employees. Like I don't feel like boss,
Yeah.
So that's clearly not my goal. I want this company to be founded by friends, and
Amazing.
And next summer, to be honest, it's like the biggest dream now is to rent a house somewhere in Spain by the
That's also one of my
seaside.
dreams. Yeah.
Yeah. And go there with the whole team. So we work during the day
Yeah.
and we party late at night and we chill there, we swim together, we dive, we go fishing, and we enjoy the life, and still we do something good for society.
That would be the dream.
So, yeah.
That's what I was actually.
Isn't it cool?
Yeah, I was talking to one of my friends. He's like from Portugal, when I was telling him like, I want to, like, what you were thinking about this, and he was going to graduate as well. He's in Amsterdam now though, but we were just telling like, yeah, we should all like move to like somewhere in Portugal and like, just like work on a business or something, and like something online, and then you'd like work on it, wake up early in the morning, just work on it throughout the entire day, and then the evening just have fun and relax and just enjoy life. Because it is possible to do it. It is possible to do it as well. Like,
yeah, and I need people to help me stop working.
yeah,
Because when you work all day from home and it's 11 in the evening, and you do not understand whether you finish your working day or not. From one side,
yeah,
you're a bit sleepy. From another side, you may drink a cup of coffee and proceed working. And you don't know what to do.
Yeah.
It's very easy to fuck up the sleeping schedule.
Yeah. That was a good answer, Misha. Before we end it, I want to tell, like, I generally think, like, you're gonna do it. I don't know about Klarr. Like, obviously, you have more understanding of the space because you're working on it. I did work on a mental health startup as well and didn't do too well, but that was on me. But I think just like, I generally think you're gonna be successful, honestly, from your talk. Like, and one of the main things is because you're like actually super humble, I think like these things that you're talking about, like how you don't want to have employees, you want to have friends that you work with, how you don't care about the money. And I know like a lot of people say that, but like I've talked to you for a while now, outside of this podcast as well, and I think you generally believe on that. I think you're a good person, and like hopefully you find the love real soon. And I really hope like Klarr takes off as well. And I think like no matter what happens, like I think you'll have like a good life because you're generally humble, you're passionate about the topic. Clearly, it's like found a market fit. You know what you're doing. Not in terms of just like technically in business, but also just the problem itself. You have a good understanding of what it is. And yeah, I think like you're going to build a company culture that's going to be super dope that people will want to work for. So yeah, I'm excited to see where it goes.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah.
It's very pleasant to hear.
Yeah.
You know?
Nah, I genuinely believe that. Do you have any other like things you want to say before we end this great podcast?
I mean, usually my videos, not everyone knows that, but all these like startup diary videos
Yeah.
ends up with same words. They start with like same words all the
Okay.
time, and they ends up with the same words. So I think that currently lots of people understood that it's very important when the families and friends are safe,
Yeah.
and that you don't need to call them a couple of times a day just to know that they are alive. So I would wish all the listeners and everyone just like to be as safe and sound as possible, and please take care of your family and friends. Wish you lots of love and peace.
That's very profound, Misha. Thank you so much for coming and talk to you soon.